Now, I just wanted to set the story straight and not waste anyone's time. If you keep an eye on the latest updates from Massive or Ubisoft, there may be not too much in the way of news in here for you. This is more for the rapidly increasing number of questions I'm getting around the Division, where I'm going with it, and why I'm not talking about it too much right now. Legitimately, every video I put out has comments saying, yeah, that's cool, but what about the Division? And of course there are the less chill comments, basically getting angry with me for talking about other games that I enjoy. A lot of people seem to think that I have inside knowledge or a direct line to the devs. I really don't. I have the same information everyone else can find. The only real difference is that I'm probably a little more obsessive in searching and reading up on things than most, which we won't get into right now in fear of incriminating myself even further. Ubisoft have clearly decided that the Division as an IP is something that they see value in, and would like to continue to invest in. Recently we've had the Hearts on Fire audio drama. It was good. I thought the acting and writing was actually really well done. I probably would have preferred if they'd released it over time rather than 5+ hours at once, but I found it thoroughly entertaining. There were a few bits to the story I felt were a little bit off, but that's probably just me digging a little deeper than was intended by the author. We have a new comic coming out. Technically this isn't actually new, as it was first released in 2019 in France, but the English version is coming out in December 2021. I'm not actually a huge comic book person myself, but when I break down what I'm reading and extract what I find interesting in the story, I actually really enjoy the different style and direction that content like Extremis Malice have added to the overall narrative direction. Obviously there's also the Division mobile game as well. As I've discussed, there's so much potential here, but I'm not holding my breath. The next novel was also announced, and as we can see from acronitebooks.com, this will be titled Tom Clancy's The Division Recruited. Unlike the other two Division novels, this one has been written by Thomas Parrott and will be available globally February 1st, 2022. I'll have a link to this in the description, but the preface describes the story. A newly recruited agent is the SHD's best hope to prevent a nefarious plot from ripping the agency apart. Myra Kanhai has had enough. Since the green poison epidemic hit DC, her cybersecurity degree is worthless. She can't rejoin the US Navy, and her early efforts to secure Maryland led to a costly mistake: the death of her brother. Every day new factions emerge, trying to burn her city to the ground, until the Division emerges, inspiring hope. When a grenade kills one of their agents, Myra suddenly has a chance to make a real difference as a raw new Division recruit. If she can pass the tests and overcome the enemy's plotting to permanently eliminate the Division once and for all. Of course, then there's the movie, starring Jessica Chastain and Jake Gyllenhaal, that is still progressing along nicely. I still haven't had a chance to have my catch-up with director Rawson Thurber. Not through any fault of his, more so myself. Contrary to popular belief, this isn't my full-time job. I have a day job that I love and a family of almost 5 that I support, with an amazing wife and, manager. Any married man watching this understands where I'm coming from here. So my flexibility is pretty abysmal to say the least, and being on opposite sides of the planet have made this a little challenging. But I'll sort this eventually. What I can say is that Rawson has been reaching out and replying to the community on a number of different things that have only fed into the confidence of a fantastic production in the long run. Back in April, Rawson could be seen asking the community of the make and model of the DZ helicopter. Something that most probably wouldn't care about, but it's super awesome to see the detail he's looking into. Also, in May he responded to someone asking of the possibility of cosplayers to be included in the film as extras. His response? Considered, doable, and planned. Details to follow. I haven't yet spoken to the guy yet, but based on his interactions with the community, and the feedback I had from fellow Division enthusiast, Born Diesel, he sounds bloody awesome. Given that he's talking about the possibility of using cosplay community members in the film, maybe he'd be keen on some other community input. I know I'm a man in his mid-30s with a dad bod to suit, but I have a stunning resemblance to Aaron Keener. And a voice that I've been told aligns well with the Division story. Maybe I could be a malfunctioning Isaac, struggling with a language translation. Oh bro, there's lots of angry dudes over there. Cheers! Damn it, someone start a petition for me. Let's make this happen. The Division Heartlands, without spoiling too much, is looking to be a new standalone Battle Royale-ish type game. I haven't tried it myself, but from what I've seen, it could hold some promise of a decent game. Time will tell. And then of course we can't forget about the acclaimed crossover that the Division has had with X-Defiant, where two of the hostile factions make an appearance. Some of you may already be aware of my thoughts behind this one, if you watched the video. Yeah, I'll put the link there, but be warned, it was certainly a different type of content from me. While all of these additions to the Division universe are cool, most of us are still left wondering what is happening to the core game of the series. The last update we were given was a message from almost 6 months ago. In the next major update, we're looking to bring in a game mode that's entirely new to the franchise. Along with the game mode, we are investigating new ways to progress your agent, with an emphasis on increasing build variety and viability. We will be revealing more about what lies ahead as the update gets closer. The development of this new update is still in its early stages and will take several months to complete. As a result, our next major update is currently scheduled for release late 2021 at its earliest. We will be taking this time to make sure we bring a meaningful change to the game. Given that we're nearing the end of 2021 and we've still heard nothing, people, understandably, are starting to get impatient. For a live service game, updates are usually provided far more frequently than what we're seeing here. Or at the very least, there would be open lines of communication, like we used to have with the state of the game. Whether you liked it or hated it, it was still good to see the studio investing this time into communicating with the fans of the game. So the big question on everyone's mind right now is, what are the future plans for the game, if any? We know Massive Entertainment are working heavily on Avatar and Star Wars projects. The majority of people in the know expected them to either be shutting down the Division or passing it off to another Ubisoft studio. But the announcement 6 months ago said no. There is still more to come. However, we didn't see the Division at E3 this year, and there wasn't even anyone from the Division community who was nominated as one of the star players. It can be easy to blame it on the worldwide pandemic, and I'd say this definitely had a big impact initially. But games like Destiny and Warframe seem to be well back on track for new content releases. Even Outriders, and they don't even consider their product a live service game. The Division seems to be a bit of a weird one for Ubisoft. It's no secret that the Division 2 didn't perform quite as well as Ubisoft would have liked on release, yet well enough that we're seeing all these spin-offs being added to the universe. But it would seem they're unwilling to invest quite the same of resource into the future of the core game that we've seen in the past. If the game is coming to an end, that's fine, just let us know and stop stringing everyone along. If not, great, but perhaps it would be a good time to start following the traditions of other games in the genre that provide roadmaps and steady updates to the community of what is being worked on and what is to come. For a live service game, silence will never be taken in the most positive light. This video ended up being a little more honest than I had initially planned. Don't get me wrong, I frickin' love this game. From the moment I started reading into everything, long before it was released, and even longer before I started making content on it, I was obsessed with the world that they had created. Obviously, I don't want to see the game die, but I'm old enough these days to understand that if this isn't feasible from a business sense, that it could be time to wrap it up. I'd just rather it ended quickly if this is the plan, as not to leave a bitter taste as my last memories. Regardless of what happens, I'll keep you up to date with my thoughts on what's to come. Hopefully this answers the many questions I've been getting. I actually have a number of scripts written up, but I hadn't thought of them to be worthy of recording and uploading. I might have a second look at them and see what I think now. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to killing my hardcore characters over and over. Solo hardcore is life. I just wish I was better at it. Cheers!